Donald Trump knows that his administration's relentless attacks, alongside Elon Musk, on some of the most essential programs in our government are deeply unpopular, and he's feeling the heat. He sees it every day in the brutal media coverage, even from his usual allies at Fox News. He sees it at Republican town halls, where members of his party are getting absolutely humiliated, drowned out by boos from their own voters. And if that wasn't enough, he's now getting a direct reminder from someone who really gets under his skin, Barack Obama. Obama just dropped a video exposing exactly why these programs matter, and Trump is panicking. We're going to break it all down, but first, do me a quick favor. If you're enjoying this content, hit that like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out and keeps these important stories coming. Alright, now before we dive into Obama's post, let's take a look at this clip that shows just how terrified Trump is.
For them. I think we should get it back.
Mr. President, the spending bill that passed last night aims to cut $2 trillion.
Right.
Can you guarantee that Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security will not be touched?
Yeah, I mean, I have said it so many times, you shouldn't be asking me that question. Okay? This will not be read my lips. There won't be read my lips anymore. We're not going to touch it. Now, we are going to look for fraud. I'm sure you're okay with that, like people that shouldn't be on. People that are illegal aliens and others, criminals in many cases, and that's with Social Security. We have a lot of people. You see that immediately when you see people that are 200 years old that are being sent checks for Social Security. Some of them are actually being sent checks, so we're tracing that down, and I have a feeling that Pam is going to do a very good job with that. But you have a lot of fraud.
The more Donald Trump denies a story, the more you know it's true. And right now, he's in full panic mode. He's out there saying, no, of course we're not going after Medicaid. No, we're not touching Social Security or Medicare. Why would you even ask me that? This is fake news. You must be with CNN or MSDNC. That reaction alone tells you everything. He's nervous. He knows this issue is gaining attention, and he knows, even in that chaotic mind of his, that people are waking up to the truth, especially now that President Obama has stepped in. On the 15th anniversary of the Affordable Care Act, Obama just dropped a powerful video exposing exactly what's at stake. Let's take a look at it in full.
Different era sometimes. But 15 years ago, I signed the Affordable Care Act into law.
That's it.
The goal back then was to establish that here in America, healthcare is not just a privilege, but a right for every single American. And together we've taken a big step in the right direction. Today, almost 50 million people have gotten quality, affordable healthcare through the ACA. That's 1 in 7 Americans. And the percentage of people without insurance has been nearly cut in half. That means more sick kids get medicine. More cancer patients have life-saving surgery. More people with pre-existing conditions enjoy the peace of mind they deserve. But here's the thing. Even though people like to talk about Obamacare, it didn't just happen because of me. It happened because Americans of all ages, from all across the country, had the courage to speak up about why healthcare reform mattered to them. When the Obama Presidential Center opens on the south side of Chicago next year, visitors will have a chance to hear from some of the folks who made the ACA a reality. And I'll get to see some of the objects that symbolized the fight for healthcare reform and helped convince Congress to do the right thing. You'll learn about Jim Hauser, who ran an auto repair shop with 9 full-time employees. Thanks to the ACA, Jim got help covering those workers, and he proudly wore his Master Automobile Technician pin to the State of the Union in 2011. Jim also brought his daughter Helen along, a 22-year-old freelancer who also got covered under the ACA. Besides hearing their stories, visitors will also get to see how people's lives have been changed forever thanks to the work we did together. And you'll get to hear from some of the leaders in my administration who worked and sacrificed for years to make it happen.
When I see people going into the Obama Presidential Center, I hope they come away with a sense that against all odds, progress can be made. And that counts on presidential leadership, elected representatives, people all around the country.
A lot of folks told me I'd pay a political price if I made healthcare reform a priority.
When I made healthcare reform a priority, some warned it could cost me re-election. But I never ran for president to protect my approval rating. I ran to make a difference. I remember sitting in the Oval Office discussing the tough road ahead. Someone said, "This is shaping up to be a one-term presidency." And I responded, "That's okay if it means getting things done, like healthcare reform." Right now, with so much happening, it's easy to feel like ordinary people can't make real change. But 15 years ago, we proved otherwise. The Affordable Care Act, ACA, showed us that some issues are bigger than politics, like making sure no one loses their livelihood just because a loved one gets sick. That's why we fought for it, and that's why the work isn't over. I've always said the ACA is like a starter home, a major step forward, but just the beginning. Now it's up to all of us to keep improving it so everyone has access to quality, affordable healthcare. And when you visit the Obama Center in 2026, I hope you walk away feeling inspired to keep pushing for change. We can't wait to see you there. If you look back at polling, one of the lowest points in Donald Trump's presidency, aside from January 6th, which, let's be honest, is still shocking, was when he tried to dismantle the Affordable Care Act. It was an absolute disaster. His so-called healthcare plan was a running joke because, let's face it, there was no plan. And now, as we reflect on 15 years of the ACA, that conversation is resurfacing. Instead of expanding these essential programs, Trump is doubling down on attacking them. President Obama made that clear in his video, reminding people that Trump never had a real plan and, frankly, never cared to have one. His presidency wasn't just about breaking promises, it was about actively betraying them. And the worst part, the very people hurt most by his cuts are often his own voters. That's why we're seeing a complete messaging void on the Republican side. They're running from their own town halls, while Democrats are stepping up, filling the space, and making the case for protecting these programs. And no one summed it up better than AOC. She nailed the argument perfectly. Let's take a look
about Medicaid and Medicare for a second. Because your representative, Gabe Evans, you know that guy that hasn't been showing up for the last couple months? Maybe he hasn't been showing up because he voted to cut Medicaid. In fact, every single House Republican voted to cut Medicaid. And they'll tell you, no, I didn't, it didn't say that. But here's what it is. They voted on a budget that cuts $880 billion from the committee that's in charge of Medicaid. And so now they're trying to play a game and say, we didn't do that because they did by proxy, okay? So let's set the record straight. And you see, these budgets aren't just fights about numbers. They are fights over the values that define us as Americans. Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security were built on promises that we have made to each other about who and what kind of country we want to be and what kind of society we want to live in. Healthcare and Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security, these are not promises from politicians to people. They are not charities or handouts from billionaires to the working class. This is our money. They are promises that we have made to each other as Americans. From neighbor to neighbor, teacher to student, friend to friend. And what we can say to Elon Musk is get out of our
Republican assault on our healthcare system isn't just a political fight, it's an opportunity, not just for Democrats to push back, but to step up with real solutions. Because here's the truth, this can't just be about stopping Donald Trump. Hopefully, fingers crossed, 4 years from now, he'll be gone for good. Maybe it'll be J.D. Vance, Glenn Youngkin, or whoever the Republicans throw up next. But if we have a Democratic president, House, and Senate by then, the conversation won't be about Trump anymore. That's why right now, we need to be talking about more than just just resisting. Our healthcare system is broken. It's not enough to stop Trump from tearing it apart. We have to actually fix it. The system was flawed long before Trump, and if we want real change, we need to go further than just blocking Republican attacks. And that's exactly what my Congressman Maxwell Frost was talking about in this clip right here.
That this country doesn't have a health care program, it has a sickness care program. And there's a lot we need to do to ensure that we have universal health care for every single person in this state and across this country. Because in the richest country on the face of the earth, every American deserves to be healthy. So now they want to come for Medicaid. And Donald Trump is going to straight up lie to people's face. He'll say, we're going to love on Medicaid. But then they pass a bill that says they have to cut $880 billion from the committee that administers Medicaid and Medicare. The math ain't mathin'. It is going to cut Medicaid. They are going to make cuts to Medicaid if we let them go forward with this. And part of the reason I really want to talk about this at the state house is a lot of these Republicans in the state house and the state Senate are getting off way too easy. On one hand, they're here praising Elon Musk, praising Doge, praising Donald Trump. And the question that I'm here to ask them, and that I hope the press will start to ask them, is if you support cuts to Medicaid, do you not realize that you're supporting cuts to the Florida budget? That's how this works. We give federal dollars to the state of Florida so they can give health care to people that need it, children, pregnant people, and
A big
seniors.
reason people were drawn to Donald Trump in the first place was that he seemed like an outsider, someone who recognized how broken our system was and, in their eyes, had the power to fix it. Why? Because he was on a reality TV show. Of course, that was never true, but what was true is that the message of a broken system resonated with people. And here's the irony. Trump isn't fixing anything. He's actively breaking it even more, all while promising to be a dictator from day one. So here's our opportunity, not just to push back, but to step up, to offer real solutions, to expand and protect these programs instead of letting billionaires rig the system for themselves. That's the message. That's the moment. And we have to take advantage of it. We'll be covering all of this and more on the show. So if you want to support the work, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, drop a like on this video, and if you made it to the end, leave a heart in the comments. Until next time, I'll see you.